PF Gaming with the super chat. He says, "Has anyone made an album better than Life After Death since Life After Death was released?" That's a question for you, Coop.
That depends on what you want in a hip hop album. If we're talking about all the things that encompass MCing, then probably not, Mike, because I told you, as far as like overall mic performances on the mic on one album, that's the album. I'm not saying he's the best lyricist. He is definitely in the conversation with greatest rapper of all time on one album. But as far as everything that he gives you on one album, I don't think any one MC has given you that. There have been albums better since then, though.
I would say Supreme Clientele was better.
That was the first one that I thought of.
I mean, it's not a lot better. You know what I mean? Like, I would say Kumina is better personally.
Not a lot of albums.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of albums better.
Mike, I was thinking the only ones that have legit arguments off the top of my head are Supreme, Aquemini, and I mean, different time, but Good Kid, Mad City.
You think Good Kid, Mad City's better than Life After Death? I disagree with that. That's just.
I mean, I would probably disagree too. And I'm about to say, and is the best Kanye album better than Life After Death?
I would say, I personally think that The College Dropout could be better than Life After Death. It's another one of those projects. Obviously, the MCing's not, but it's another one of those projects where the songs did everything.
It is, but okay.
And then it's like you got depth in it when it comes to like a Jesus Walks and a Through the Wire.
Like you do. Yeah. But here's the thing with Big is that he's so astounding as an MC and capable of making great songs that last the test of time. Think about this: Life After Death got released in 1997, and we are struggling like right now in 2022 to find albums that are better.
It's amazing.
That's why I was telling you when I was making that list of greatest 50 albums of all time, it just kept on moving up and up and up because every time I kept thinking about it, it's like, well, what's really better than it? Everything that's better than it is like all time great, like iconic, like stamped, like Illmatic.
Terminator 2 brought up one that I was going to bring up, and that's B. Possibly. You know, I honestly think, and it's as great as I think B is, and I think B is one of the greatest albums of its era. I kind of think that College Dropout is better. Obviously, Common's the superior MC. Again, College Dropout is just such a moment. It's a game changer on so many levels.
It is. It's a game.
And then it has the hits too on top of that. And and it's like you don't have to really just lean on the hits for its success either, because the non-hits are cult classics too.
That is where it's very comparable to Life After Death, because it's like, well, you take Hypnotize and More Money, More Problems and Sky's the Limit off of Life After Death, it's still a flawless album. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think if you take Jesus Walks off, you know what I'm saying? Like, that album's not going to miss that.
Well, here's what I'm saying is like, if you take those three songs, let's say you take those three songs off of Life After Death. Well, the singles then become like, I Love the Dough, The World is Filled, and Another. And Notorious Thugs is still going to get dropped. You get what I'm saying? And Kick in the Door and Effing You Tonight. You get what I'm saying? There's still just like stuff upon stuff upon stuff. The College Dropout has that feel. But what I would tell you is that there's something about B that feels better beginning to end than the College Dropout. B feels good beginning to end the way very few rap albums do.
I agree with that. Now that I agree. And that's Life After Death included. We talk about beginning to end. Mr. Miller says, surely you're looking forward to hearing Mos Def again. Of course I am. But it depends on how locked in Mos Def is. That's the other part of it. Shout out to Blue Collar Hustler. Go ahead. I'm going to let you respond to that. I'm just trying to get to the super chats real quick. Blue Collar Hustler said Black Star's album wasn't a classic. The better word would be special, and introducing Kweli and Most and their subsequent careers added onto that LP's legend.
Yes, I like that synopsis.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's more accurate to like how things actually like unfurl. Yeah.
Rigor Raw 7 says, "What's up, homies? Machine, the only person that reaches Life After Death level spitting besides Nas. Life After Death is in a class of its own. Real for real."
It's very Mike, it's very doggy stylish. It's like I told you, it's like, nah, it's in
I think Conway the Machine has a skill set for a Life After Death. I mean, even though people might think otherwise. I think he has a skill set for that. I think this is another thing I think. And you know me, I'm a big Pusha T fan. I've said many times on this show, me and Pusha T share the same birthday. But I think from a versatility level and digging deep, Conway has that over Push. Conway
Yes.
doesn't have to go out there and do interviews saying that he's a coke rapper or being questioned about just talking about dope dealing. And that's where he's more big than Push is. Is that accurate?
That is accurate, but delivery wise pushes more in pocket and closer to Big.
I agree with that too.
But here's what I'll tell you, and here's what's special about Big that people keep forgetting. It's not the singles. No.
No.
These are some of the best street records ever on a commercialized album. What's Beef? Kick in the Door. You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You. My Downfall. The 10 Crack Commandments. Niggas Bleed. These ain't soft records. Somebody Gotta Die. This is some street shit. Last Days with the Locks. This is some of the best street shit ever. And so, all respect due to like all the guys you just named, they haven't proven that they can hit that level. Big consistently hit that level because guess what? We can go to Ready to Die. Everyday Struggle. Warning. Give Me the Loot. Things done changed. No. This guy excels at the grimy records better than anybody ever did. He made the grimy records fly. You're Nobody Till Somebody Kills You is a nasty record, Mike. It's not supposed to sound that cool.
You
not supposed to sound that cool.
I want to take a quick commercial break, though. I want to say, if you don't have the yearbook, go out there and get it. If you do have the yearbook, we definitely appreciate it. What I was going to do before we get too deep in this, I want to go ahead and just put a link to the yearbook in the chat here, and we'll pin that to the top or whatnot. But yeah, if you don't have the yearbook, go out there and get that, man. That'll give you everything that you need to know about 2021 when it comes to hip hop, and we also have the 2020 one out there as well. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that to the top, and we really appreciate the people who went out there and purchased it. Hope you're enjoying it, and we will love your feedback as well. But no, you're right. The balance that Big gave is super special, and it's something that I don't think we've seen since. I think the closest again is Jay, and but I just think that. And we're going to get into this conversation when Jarv gets online from Rap Roundtable. I just don't think that Jay's best records are, his hit songs. I think his best records are the core records, the B-sides, or what he considers the B-sides. That's why he harps on the B-sides. That's why he did a whole B-side concert. But I know Jarv is going to say, these songs were for outside and yada yada. But, listen.
Mike,
those joints didn't age as well.
They didn't. I'm going to ask you a very valid question right now, and this might be a more appropriate way to frame Life After Death. Do you think that It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back and Enter the Wu-Tang are better than Life After Death?
I think it's hard to say they are. If someone said they are, and I think that me personally, I would probably play those two albums before I would play Life After Death. But when we start breaking it down and start talking about all the different things that were done and done well, it's kind of a hard argument to make, especially when you talk about one man. Now, this is what I will say about It Takes a Nation. And you could say some of this about Into the 36. Those songs on It Takes a Nation are monstrous. Like, all-time monstrous records. Like, Black Steel and the Hour of Chaos.
Yes.
No, shits is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rebel Without a Pause. There's not a Rebel Without a Pause on Life After Death.
No, just like, no, there's not a cream on Life After Death.
It's not.
No. So what I would tell you is that whoever made that comment about has there been a better album than Life After Death, Mike, I think they might be right. I think Life After Death might be the last top 10 all-time rap album that's been made to get slotted in the top 10. because I don't think you can put B or Supreme Clientele in the top 10 because look at it. I mean,
you're not counting the Criminal because it's a group, or
I don't know. I already got a Criminal in there ahead, so we would go Illmatic.
But even with that, that's 1 year after, so it's like similar time frame. So if we say like in the 2000s on, is there an album better than Life After Death?
I don't think so, Mike, because Illmatic, Aquemini, Purple Tape, It Takes a Nation, Paid in Full, Doggy Style. Where are we at?
Yeah.
How many albums is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 right there, Mike. So if you were to go Enter the Wu-Tang at 8, Life After Death at 9, yeah, Mike.
Shout out to Marquez with the super chat. He says people forget that Big also had Big Papa remix and One More Chance remix. I tell you, this dude was nice.
Oh, Mike, is the Low End Theory better than Life After Death?
The way Life After Death was constructed, I think. Let me say this. I think it is, but the way that Life After Death was constructed, it makes it hard for you to even make those arguments. You would have to just go out straight on impact. But everything but like you said, and I think you framed this perfectly before, the mic performance the Big put on this album, that right there is tough all time to beat.
It is.
Because everything he did was so. Because after he finished it, Jarvis said he would be good in 10 minutes. Okay. But he said, but after he finished it, he told Primo, or at least Primo said the Big was like, I'm the greatest ever. I mean, when you've recorded all of these songs in a duration of time to put on one album, it had never really been done like that, at least to that level, on a Supreme MC level. So I could see how he felt that way.
It hasn't been done since.
I was going to say that too.
And so, yeah, it's a top, and this is what I'm saying. Well, that makes it better than Ready to Die and Reasonable Doubt. And that's why it's a top 10 rap album, because that's the thing that I always struggled with Life After Death. It wasn't these other albums. It was like, well, damn, that would be saying that it's better than Ready to Die and Reasonable Doubt.
Well, is it better than Illmatic then? Because it does so many things.
It's not, but it's
but
not.
You see what I'm saying? That's the same play I feel like when you ask about the Low End Theory.
Well, here's the thing. The best 9 songs on Life After Death, line them up against the 9 songs on Illmatic. And it's like, well, it's going to be hard for him to win that on some of those.
Yeah.
On some of those. And also, too, production-wise, as astounding as it seems, there's something so perfectly nostalgic about Illmatic. And I'm not saying that as a Nas fan. I'm saying that as a hip-hop fan. Mike, it's the timeless themes of it.
It ages incredibly.
It's the timeless things, Mike. New York State of Mind. Life's a bitch. The world is yours. Memory lane. Represent. It ain't hard to tell. These are timeless themes.
Yeah.
So it's hard to beat timeless themes when the guy's rapping his ass off over a dope beat.
The production's timeless too. With the exception of One Time for Your Mind, right? But that's the one-time capsule that I think is on the album. Shout out to Blue Collar Hustle. He says, I think Good Kid, Mad City can go toe-to-toe with Life After Death.
I think
the Truest says Life After Death over Illmatic. Go ahead.
First of all, the Truest is the worst troll on here. He's worse than Boy and Uncle. He doesn't even. I want everybody on the chat to get it. The Truest, because he seems to think that Nas isn't a good lyricist at all, and he keeps spelling Nas like the way it's spelled on his album cover, because he says that's what all the Nas stands do. And I've already let the Truest know I don't respect his opinion anymore. Nas is a good lyricist, and I'm going to make it a point to go in on him at every single turn. Have a good one, brother. Let's get back to what we were doing.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, Mad City. No, Mike. It's more in that My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy realm. That's what I mean. It's more in that B Supreme Clientele realm. It's more in that like Water for Chocolate, Things Fall Apart. You know, it's more that kind of classic. That's why I'm saying Big did some top 10 stuff. Because think about this. Good Kid, Mad City's not better than Reasonable Doubt or Ready to Die. And those aren't top 10 albums.
I agree with that. Ricker Ross says, exactly. What was Big's mic? It was Big's mic performance. It's still absurd and unmatched. Imagine if he were alive to promote it and make remixes. It would be over. You know, I never thought about that, Ricker Ross, because he was huge on remixes. Imagine if he were alive. He got
sicker on remixes. It's like the more time you gave him, the sicker he got.
What songs do you think would have actually... had remixes.
The 10 Crack Commandments would have had guest verses, and he would have done a new verse.
What do y'all think would have had a remix on Life After Death? Shout out to Mr. Pragmatic with the 1999 super chat here. He says, according to hip hop, is my modern day source magazine. We really appreciate that, man. That's high praise. I know Benzino's had a week, but Source was the shit back in the day. And shout out to Benzino because he's a part of history, regardless of anything. But yes, what do you think would have had some remixes? You said the 10 Crack Commandments? I think Hypnotized Death. I think we would have got a More Money, More Problems remix. Maybe. But it already had 3 people on it. Because I feel like Kim would have been on whatever remix was going to be. Because Kim was a remix killer too.
It's so funny, like you don't know where he was taking it next because he did so much on Life After Death. Like, who's to say he would have even remixed it like that? And because the Locks was sitting right there, Black Rob was sitting right there, Mace was sitting right there, Kim was sitting right there. Who's to say he just wouldn't have jumped in to helping them knock all their shit out? You know what I'm saying? Because he was that type of dude too. That's why they all loved him so much. Like he was the type of guy that, you know what I'm saying?
Let me get Jarv in the building, man. Let me make sure. Hopefully, it doesn't cut you out when I try to add him.
Hold on. You got to give him 5 more minutes, though.
Why's that?
Because he said he needed 10 minutes. That was at 5:04.
Oh, no. He just hit me.
Oh, okay.
He said he's good. Okay. Yeah, he said he's ready. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can add him on real quick. Oh, no. That'd be adding to a group. Let me try this. Hopefully, it doesn't cut you out. Coop, you still there? Damn, I cut Coop out. Well, I did that wrong. Hold on 1 second, guys. Boom. Let me get these guys on. And let me get this started. I done cut Coop out. Let's see what some of the people saying in the Nasty Girl and Fucking You Tonight definitely would have had remixes. I definitely could see Fucking You Tonight have a remix. Big and Black Rob. Why y'all hating on Kendrick so much? We're not hating on Kendrick at all. Hold on, let me get this. All right, cool. I think both of them are coming in now. We're not hating on Kendrick at all. We love Kendrick. Huh. Let me see. Ring the group. Oh, okay, there we go. My bad. Technical difficulties on my end. I'm sitting here trying to do too much at one time. Y'all got ready to die over Life After Death? Reasonable Doubt nor The Blueprint is top 10 album of mine. Listen, we're going to get into that. Who all we got here? Is that Coop? Coop's that you? Okay, well, let me see if he should be coming in.
Cool, Jar. What up?
Yeah. Is he here?
No, I don't see him yet.
Let me see. We're going to get this right.
We on break?
No. Let's go. I mean, we're still live. But,
we are?
Yeah.
I was about to eat, put my feet up on the table like it was about to.
Harry A said, y'all need a producer. We do. We're taking applications. Send applications to info@accordingtohiphop.com. Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
We got some things in the works, but
people are saying Effing You Tonight would have had a remix. What do you think?
No. I'm with that. That's what I'm saying. It's big, so you never know what you would have gotten. That's what I'm saying. Like 10 Crack Commandments for me would have been the best one to remix because it would have given him an opportunity to get like the crew on. Like that's something he could have thrown Jay on, thrown the Locks on, thrown Rob on. Like that could have been a posse cut. Can you imagine the 10 Crack Commandments as a posse cut where everybody's taking like a crack commandment or two and flipping it or doing their own crack commandment? Like imagine Jay and Big doing a back and forth on the 10 Crack Commandments.
Oh man, that would have been crazy. I'm about to send him a link, man.
So I look at those street moments like that. The singles already bubbled, man. The singles did what they were supposed to do, in my opinion.
So you think the street joints would have been the ones that got some remixes?
they were more easy to remix. Like imagine a What's Beef remix. You know what I'm saying? What if he was able to get Nas for a What's Beef remix, like with all the Pac stuff still simmering? You know what I'm saying?
Going back to Cali remix, I'm seeing. I think the other thing is people have to understand is the fact that on not Life After Death, Ready to Die, we got remixes because some of those originals didn't turn out right. Is that fair to say?
Not right. It's just you want to know it. And here's where Puff is a smart dude.
Yeah.
He's a really, really smart dude. He saw Big getting better before all of us. That's really how these remixes happen, Mike, because it seemed like every time you heard him on a remix, he was a little better as an MC. You hear him on Big Papa, it's like, that's dope. The dude that's on the Big Papa remixes, you know what I mean? Not the Big Papa on Get Money.
No, you're right.
On the remix is spitting better. On One More Chance, is he spitting? Yeah. Is that a classic song already to die? Yeah. Is it the One More Chance remix? Hell no.
That's the thing about the One More Chance remix. Obviously, the beat and the production is an upgrade, but he is so much better. And like you said, I think that Puff was recognizing how quickly he was getting better. And he was like, man, we're going back in the studio. We got to remix this.
We can do this over and do this better because this guy's better. Yeah.
Marquez Davis with the super chat says Big's only competition would have been Big Pun and Nas. Now imagine Big Pun and Biggie going at it on a song together. I always hear that when people talk about Pun, and I think Pun was super nice. He had the flow. That would have been an interesting song with Big and Pun because Pun would have been flowing where Big could just slow it down and just, do everything else.
So can I say this? It's like, I kind of knew who Big L was as an MC before he passed. You know, I kind of knew who L was as an MC. I feel like we still didn't really get to know Pun all the way as the MC, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
I know he had 2 albums too, like Big did, but it didn't feel like he got to reveal himself like really to us fully. And I don't know if it was because of health issues or just life or whatever, but yeah, Baby wasn't an appropriate swan song, especially for how good Capital Punishment was. And I think it's hurt some of the viewing of him. And so it would have been interesting to see. Mike, I just thought, what do you think? LL Cool J on the Going Back to Cali remix?
That would have been cool. Yeah, yes. I could see that.
Think about it. Puff used to manage L around that time. That's how L ended up on the Flavor in Your Ear remix.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right. They've already been on the track together. They're on the Flavor in Your Ear remix together. They recorded that video together.
We probably would have got a Hypnotize remix too. Even though I'm not a big fan of that song.
You want to know who would have been good for that? And this is what I mean about missed opportunities. Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Definitely Slick Rick.
Yeah.
Hypnotize. Looks like we got Jarv.
We got Jarv here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Yeah. Let's see. Let me get our screens and stuff right. Because like they said, we need a producer. Jarv, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Let's see.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
How are you?
Good, how you feeling?
Now, what the hell was that?
To have day fun today.
Yeah, good. Good to see you.
We were just talking about Big.
Y'all been having some what's going on.
I love this game.
Right. Always.
All right, so we were just talking about Big, man, and somebody in the chat was asking if there's been an album better than Life After Death since Life After Death's been released. You a big Jay-Z fan, you from Brooklyn and everything. Does Jay-Z have a better album than Life After Death?
Nah. Life After Death, those are one of those pillar albums for the city. You can't, for you to top that as a New Yorker, you gotta put out, we talked about it on the roundtable, the volume, double album, that many tracks, so many good tracks over a double disc. It's real difficult to surpass that. Like if Life After Death was maybe like one CD, maybe we could start talking about different albums that have dropped. But it's tough. Guys have tried. They've come close. Blueprint 2 was a massive failure. He tried. He failed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, nah. For me, I can't put anything above Life After Death. It's real difficult to say that.
I'm surprised.
No, I'm not surprised. So Jarv, that's not just like for the town, like that's for hip hop, because I was kind of expressing like similar sentiments. Like that's not even a New York or a Brooklyn thing. That's like an MC thing. It's like nobody's really topped the mic performance. Right. Has anybody topped the mic performance in your opinion?
The microphone performance? Of Life After Death?
Yes, on Life After Death.
I mean, like bass, like you mean like the rapping, like has a person out rap Big on their project on Life After Death? Is that what you mean?
I mean, I'm not talking lyrically. I'm talking about the totality of everything that encompasses MCing, like everything, top to bottom.
Like he did the singles, the versatility that Big showed.
I might overrate Biggie, but we talked about it. I just feel like what he did through 2 albums with his skill set is hard to match. Like to me, Biggie is the blueprint for the East Coast rapper. Like a lot of guys get their sound, especially if you not the drill guys, but anybody else from our ilk. If you rap a certain way, Biggie is your template. And if it's not Big, believe it or not, it's Nas. That's just the reality of the situation. Some guys, if you say you're inspired by Jigga, if you're inspired by Jigga, you're inspired by Big. That's just the reality.
Okay, so but wouldn't you say that even goes back like to Kane and Rakim and G-Rap then in that regard?
Forefathers, the Shoguns, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So that's a conversation that's had up there too, you know, because we always have that conversation. It's like, oh, well, you can't like Nas and like Big and like Jay and not like G-Rap and Kane.
Right. Like you can't look at Nas and not talk about Rakim.
Right.
Rigorous says Biggie and Pun would have made New York City spontaneously combust. Listen.